My name is Ebony. I am the Executive Director of Reach Philadelphia Incorporated. My organization is a nonprofit that is dedicated to the creative and performing arts. This is something that just to tell a little bit of background story. My mother, she grew up in the arts. She was acting, she sang, she danced. So me growing up in her household, I was always around, creative and performing arts. No matter how it came, it was always, she sewed, she made clothes, she made jewelry. Anything creative, my mom had her hands into it. So she didn't really push the arts on us. It was, if you want to do it, it's okay. So my mother passed, and having a conversation with my uncle, he wanted to do something to honor my mother. And he figured that I should start a nonprofit organization that would, kind of be dedicated to children, teach them the arts. And he wanted to start with the family, teach the children in the family how to play instruments and things of that nature. I was initially against the idea. I didn't want anything to do with the arts. I saw how my mom struggled in trying to become who she wanted to be, who she thought she would be in the business. And so I saw her struggle over the years. So when she passed, I was like, no, I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm done. But the idea of having the nonprofit organization kind of sparked something inside of me. And so some years later, the idea came back and it came alive. And it wasn't just to teach children in my family how to play instruments, but I saw it on a larger scale. I noticed how over the years, a lot of the schools in Philadelphia area, they have eliminated a lot of the creative and performing arts programs. So where I had a chance being in school, that if I wanted to learn how to play an instrument, I could. A lot of children today, they don't have that opportunity. And not only do they not only have the opportunity in school, but their parents can't afford to give them or pay for lessons themselves. There are some schools that do have programs, but in order for a child to actually participate in that program, they have to live in that particular zip code, attend that particular school in order to reap the benefits of the music or the creative art program. So my idea was to have a community-based nonprofit organization that would allow children to kind of research or get into or learn what the creative and performing arts are about. Not just the historical part of it, but learning how to play instruments, how to tap into their creative resources that lie within themselves, so that they can, once again, be creative people. We are a creative people. Not just people in general, but especially us as African Americans. That's who we are. We are creative people. We create. That's what we do. And so we want to be able to kind of get that spark going inside children in our communities. Now, what we plan to do is to have after-school programming, summer camps that will kind of, help children, introduce them to things like drumming and playing the violin or dance, different genres of dance like African or ballet, tap, whatever it is. We want to teach them also art and how to draw, also some creative writing. Now, we know that today a lot of our language is being lost in text language, but we want children to learn how to express themselves through their words, not just in speaking them, but also in writing them. I'm very creative with my hands. So I like to do things like flower arrangements. I like to sew, I crochet, I like to cook, I sing, but I try to stay out of that lane. Coming up in school, I took piano lessons. I played the saxophone, xylophone. I tried the violin a little bit, didn't like it. But those are just a few of the things that I do. I would like to partner with, it doesn't really matter to me. Anything that is creative based, I would love to partner with them, just so that we can not only just draw from their resources, but they can pour into our children and help them tap into their own creative resources. I haven't had many role models. There was one woman, she was actually an aunt of mine, She was my mother's sister-in-law, and she had her own nonprofit organization. It wasn't creative-based, but it was housing-based. I looked to her as a resource or someone that I can look to for inspiration, because she was very passionate about what she did. She was passionate about affordable housing, passionate about making sure that everyone had a place to live. I watched how she has grown her organization to now where she has entire neighborhoods that she has helped develop where people can live and have affordable housing. So if I could look to anyone, I would look to her because of her tenacity and her, it's been years, it has to be probably 30 years she's been running the organization. Reach Philadelphia is not a faith-based organization. It is we do not discriminate race, creed, color, religion, or sexual orientation. I think the struggles that I've had is the financial struggle. It's easy to write down your ideas on a piece of paper. It's easy to write down a proposal. It's easy to do all of those things, but to get it all working, it's the money part of it that has been difficult. And for me, I don't really like asking people for anything. If I can do it myself, I will. And so in order to get to the money part of it, I have to overcome that part of me that doesn't like to ask for help. And so, like, even with starting fundraising, a lot of times people don't want to buy into your ideas. They want to wait until everything is like so huge, so large, everything is up and running, and then all of a sudden here they come try to open what their pockets open. When you have just a concept, just an idea, and you're fundraising, people are, what is it? What are you doing? Oh, that sounds great. But then they don't want to really help push the idea. I've reached out to so many other nonprofit organizations that do the same thing that I do within the city of Philadelphia, just to, hey, can I sit down and talk to you and find out how did you get started? Where'd you get your funding? It's been really difficult because no one's been returning my calls. Again, it could be because the organization is new. We're just a new concept and a new idea, but nobody is really helping me. So I'm like working this thing out on my own. What programs can I put on? How much is it gonna cost? How can I get this money in order to do this? Because this idea, it has to be birthed. It has to come alive. 2 generations from now, I want Reach Philadelphia to have locations in several areas throughout the city of Philadelphia, where we have full-fledged programs where children can come and learn all kinds of things in the creative process, whether it be through studio recording, just anything. I just want children to be able to have a safe place where they can come to and feel safe expressing themselves creatively. There's a lot of times they don't do that because they are afraid of ridicule, of what the other children will say, because I'm learning how to play the violin or the flute, or I want to learn how to do ballet. I want Reach to provide children with a safe place where they can come and just have at it, express themselves. When they're angry, come in, bang it out on some drums, or learn how to play an instrument, learn how to express yourself through your feelings, your emotions, through your creativity.